Hey everyone, doing a bunch of videos today. Thought I would show you what I've got for camera equipment and some different little things that I've done. First off here, the camera that I'm using is one of these. It's a Polaroid, if it'll focus, ISO 85. Uh, my kids were at a summer camp for a couple weeks last year and they all went, so I bought them each a camera. There's 3 cameras identical here so that there wasn't any fighting, of course. 16 megapixel. It is an underwater camera. Underwater up to 10 meters, about 30 feet is what I figure. So might give that a try this summer here, getting some good video, fish releasing or whatever. So I've got 3 of them. My kids will be able to use them out on the boat too. One of my other main cameras that I was using was a Nikon Coolpix. It's a 10 megapixel camera. This does pretty decent on the videos. I've used it for quite a few videos here. It's a Coolpix L20. The picture quality is a little grainy compared to some of these other cameras here, but still a decent little camera to use. And I can mount all of them on this tripod here. It's about a 4.5 foot tall tripod when it's all extended out. And of course I was doing some tackle grab videos there earlier here. I've got 3 other tripods sitting in storage right now. This one here has a bubble level on it so you can see if it's level or not. But I've got 2 other tripods sitting in storage. They're a little bit taller, a little bit bigger, but this one here seems to be a pretty good all-around tripod. I've taken this one to sporting events or concerts, and I've gotten good videos of my kids that way. One of the main video cameras that I've been using is a GoPro. It's a Hero 3 Silver Edition. This camera does not want to zoom in or focus real easy. But I've got this in the waterproof housing with the open back on it. I do have the completely solid closed back for it. Plus I've got a couple of these skeleton mounts, as they call them. I've used them from time to time, but it picks up wind noise quite easily, so I tend to just keep it in the waterproof mount most of the time. One thing that I've done with this camera here, it comes with the hat clip. Me, myself, I like wearing my hat with the bill forward. I wear it for a purpose. I don't like wearing a hat like this because then I still have to shade my eyes. And with these hat clips here, they say you're supposed to put them on the snap of the hat. Try to get this through here, just like that, and wear it against your forehead that way. But I don't pretty much care to wear it like that. Here, Sydney, take the camera. So what I've actually done, this is an old hat that I've had for years. I've got 2 or 3 of them this way. I see the stitching is pulled out, but I took the hat and I've cut through where it was stitched at, so I can take my mount, mount it on right on the front of the cap like that, and then it sits there, and it sits there all day long. Moving around, it doesn't bounce around. Hi, baby. It doesn't bounce around a lot. And when I'm wearing wearing the camera, this is my old smartphone here. I've got the GoPro app on it. I set up the Wi-Fi. I could see where it's pointing at, so if I wanted to have it pointed down a little more or have it pointed straight out away, I was able to fine tune on where it was aiming at, so that works out pretty good for me. If you guys like that idea, by all means, go ahead and take it. It certainly isn't patented, since all I did was cut up an old hat. You know, but I do have my old smartphone here. This takes pretty good video. The battery on it's currently pretty much dead right now, but it's a good little camera. Don't have to worry about it getting broke since it's an old phone. But to go along with the GoPro here, I've actually had this, see the two holes in it, I had this nailed up to a 2x4 in my front porch area, taking video of trick-or-treaters this winter with the GoPro. So I had this mounted up high so nobody'd be able to see it, and that worked out real well. I am planning on mounting this on the dash of my boat so I could have the GoPro just pointing forward or whatever. I do have this ball swivel mount for my GoPro camera, so I can mount it up, and I had this mounted on a railing at one time, but you can point that in any direction that you wanted to. You know, I had it sitting like that, so I could have it pointing forward, or you know, you could put it sideways if you wanted. So I found that at Cabela's. It was right about $20 for that ball mount, but that works out pretty well. You can swivel it any direction. Got several different mounting brackets for it, you know, so you could have it pointing any angle that you want. So that actually worked out pretty good. And then with that rail mount, there's a couple of different tube sizes. Just put that in there for small or large diameter tubes. Bicycle handles, or the railings on my boat. I had it on my boat, so that worked out for that. Plus I've got a bunch of different other styles of mounts. This came with it, with that ball mount. It's an XL brand. I do have two batteries, GoPro batteries for my camera. Hi Spider. You can get out of the video now. Drop her on the dog. I do have two batteries for my GoPro. I am looking at upgrading a little bit and getting that external battery pack for the camera. That way it'll take a lot longer video for it, and I don't have to swap batteries around too much. I do have in the camera here itself, if I can get this open. This is the one thing I don't like about the rear doors, but you get used to it. So I do have two batteries for it. But my memory card for this camera is the SanDisk Ultra 64 gigabyte card. It is the top of the line fastest SDXCI card, or not the fastest, but almost the fastest recording card you can get. I got that through Sears shortly after I got the camera, and that'll take up to 10 hours of video in one shot. So that works out quite well for this camera. I can actually take that memory card and put it in any of my other cameras here. This one here takes a regular standard SD card. All these other cameras, my smartphones, they take the micros. So I'm pretty well set. I do have the head strap here. I have worn this underneath of a stocking hat ice fishing. That worked out pretty well. If somebody wants to wear the GoPro but doesn't want to wear the hat, I've got this here available for them. One of my most recent purchases, it was on a rummage sale site that I'm signed up on Facebook, or Facebook, yeah, Facebook. Facebook, not YouTube. It's the Hero 3 White Edition, and you can tell the difference from the white through the silvers by the number, the color on the number. This one's a white, this one's a silver. So this is my first GoPro, and this is my second Hero 3. When I got this here, it has the same kind of card, but it's a 32 gig. So that should take up to 5 to 6 hours of video just fine. I planned on having both of these cameras running at the same time in my ice fishing tournament that was coming up here next week on the 31st. But I talked to some people today, and that tournament has been, I guess you could say, canceled. the tournament, they are still having the tournament, but rather than fishing, you're going out and drawing for places rather than actually fishing. With this camera here, it came with the waterproof case or the open back, and there's a few different mounts on here for it as well. The guy didn't really send a whole lot of stuff with it when I got the camera. I don't know if he lost it, misplaced it, or whatever. So I've got two GoPro cameras here that I'll be using, which will make things a little interesting. And then the last thing that I've got a Verizon LG G3 smartphone. I used this on one of my videos here that I made this morning. You know, I've got the forward facing camera and the rear facing camera. But on my video that I had earlier this morning, I had it set up in dual mode. And you can move that camera, the rear facing camera or the forward facing camera, either way, and you can swap them back and forth. So if I want to film primarily me or my daughter filming us and see what's on the table in front, you know, very versatile. I was quite happy that this had that camera mode. See, there's something else with that. You can do this on panoramic view. Yep, there we go. We can have it do a magic focus here, panorama, and it gives you some tips and whatnot that you can do with this. Not going to read that, so I'll have it show that again. Get it close to your object and hold the phone steady while taking a photo. Oh, okay. But then there's the panorama view, widescreen angle. You just pan across what you want to film there and start that way. Tells you how much film you can do. So I'm going to be using that feature quite frequently on some of my videos here. So I can do me talking plus whatever the heck I'm filming. This is Spider, one of our cats. Very lovable. So that's it. That's what I've got for cameras here. I do plan on at some point, might not be this year, might just be next year when I get it. I do plan on getting something like a Sony Handycam. You know, something a little bit bigger, a little more professional, rather than using all of these the Coolpix or the Polaroid cameras that I've got here. But I just thought I'd do this short little video to show you what I've got for cameras, what I've been using, what works for me, modifications that I've made with mountain stuff or whatever, you know. If you like this hat idea, if you're like me and like wearing a hat to shade your eyes from the sun and not wearing it backwards, looking all cool and whatnot, you know, by all means, you know, go ahead and copy that idea. That's not going to bother me one bit. So that's it for this video, and we'll catch you later.